Watchmaking is a unique fusion of engineering and artistry. It's a craft that relies on human ingenuity to design tiny mechanical marvels and human creativity to conjure designs that evoke some sort of emotion within each one of us. When I look at this timepiece, I can't help but feel that it seems to embody the very essence of this. The Blue Planet is probably the most popular model in CIGA Design's lineup, and it's easy to see why it won the GPHG Challenge Watch Prize in 2021. The steel version usually sells for $999 on CIGA Design's website, but they have a 30% discount for the 7th anniversary sale on August 19, so that brings the price down to about $700. I've left a link in my description if you want to pick one of these up. Honestly, I know that's not cheap, but it's an incredible price for the originality and craftsmanship that you're getting on this watch. There's just so much thought put into it, even down to the packaging. Now, I don't usually cover packaging in my reviews, but the one on this watch deserves a section of its own, because it really sets the tone for the whole experience. Tying into the Earth-focused theme, the eco-friendly packaging is made from recycled materials. It has this cool outer sleeve with an illustration of the watch, and inside the sleeve, you'll find something that looks like a book. There are a few different pages here, including a picture of the Earth, a story about keeping the Earth safe, the phrase "mankind has only one Earth" in dozens of languages, and of course, 2 slots that house the watch head and rubber strap. Overall, this was a very impressive unboxing experience. The case is a perfect circle, and the side profile kind of reminds me of an UFO. The case on my model is steel, but they also have titanium and ceramic versions if either of those tickle your fancy. This steel case is entirely polished, and the finishing here is a step above other watches I've seen at this price point. The polishing is incredibly high quality. You won't find any swirls or distortions on it. It's practically a mirror. You can see everything in my recording room through the reflection on the case. The crown has some nice grooves, but the polish finish made it quite slippery to operate, especially when trying to hand wind it. It's not a deal breaker though, since this is an automatic movement and you don't really have to hand wind it all that much. The 46mm lug-to-lug length makes it wear surprisingly well on my wrist, but make no mistake, this watch has a large wrist present. It's a statement piece, and the size obviously reflects that. The tall double dome crystal is made from sapphire. The curved shape of the crystal is meant to represent the atmosphere layer, which just added 5 points on the cool scale for me. No matter how good your air coating is, you're just bound to have reflections on a crystal that's as domed as this. And that's exactly the case here. This watch was an absolute nightmare to film. It kept reflecting my harsh studio lighting, but it fares slightly better outside in natural light. The dial is an absolute sight to behold. I've seen dozens of watch dials in my time, but I've never seen anything like this. The detail on the dial is incredible. The landmass is painted in a silvery color. You get to see all the mountains, hills, valleys, and other topographic details. Just look at that detail on the Himalayan mountain range. The oceans are painted in a mesmerizing shade of blue with just a bit of sheen to it. I've lost count of the number of times I caught myself staring at the dial and just taking everything in. It really has that effect on you. I thought the dial on the Merkur World Time I reviewed was quite detailed, but compared to the dial on this Blue Planet, that felt like watching a 240p video compared to this 8K video. It's just that good. The outer and inner rings have raised hour and minute markings. Instead of having watch hands, CIGA Design re-engineered this movement so that the globe and minute ring rotate as time goes by. Telling the time is not the most practical thing, but it's a novel experience. The compass tip points to what time it actually is. The actual movement on this watch is made by Seagull, and they collaborated with CIGA Design to rework the gear ratios to make the spinning globe and minute ring function work. There's a ghost date on the first crown position, and you can hack the movement and set the time at the second position. The ghost date was disappointing to see, especially compared to the amount of thought that they've put into every other aspect of this watch. I couldn't really measure the accuracy of the movement because, well, there's no second hand, and I don't have a time grapher with me. But Seagull is known for making solid movements, so you can expect some decent timekeeping. The supplied fluorine rubber strap comes in a beautiful shade of blue that complements the dial color. It feels very high quality and supple. Hands down, this is probably the most comfortable rubber strap I've ever owned. The hybrid butterfly deploy and style clasp is also impressive. The pushers feel secure and they're easy to operate, and the whole clasp just feels very comfortable against the wrist. There are no sharp edges and the low profile design doesn't press against your wrist. This is usually the part that brands tend to skimp out on, but it's nice to see CIGA Design include a strap and clasp that actually match the quality of the watch head. So to sum up, what do I think of the CIGA Design Blue Planet? I love the whole concept behind this piece, and the Earth theme messaging resonates with me on a deep level. I have massive respect for brands that push design boundaries, and CIGA Design has earned that for what they've accomplished here. The unique design and level of detail on this watch is something you'll really need to experience in the flesh to truly appreciate. But let's be real, this is not a watch you're going to wear daily. It's just not practical enough for that. It's more of a piece of art for those who appreciate the craft of watchmaking, and it's also a statement piece for those who want a conversation starter on their wrist. If you want a watch that's going to stand out from all the other watches you have in your collection, you'll be hard pressed to find a better watch than this one. I mean, mankind may only have one Earth, but we can definitely have more than just one watch.